Good afternoon, Cross Timbers. Today is February 19th, 2014. This is Texan TV News from Tarleton State University campus in Stephenville, Texas, and I am Alyssa Urbanek. In today's headlines, Texan and Texan basketball take on West Texas A&M, early voting for Erath County is underway, Slidelltown Church electronics are stolen, 39-year-old killer sentenced to life in prison, government gains control of Syrian village, and university football players fight to form union. In campus news, the Texan and Texan basketball teams will face the West Texas A&M Buffs tonight, with the women's game starting at 6 and the men's at 8. Associate Athletic Director Susan Burton told us that the Texans will be playing for the number 2 spot in the Lone Star Conference standings, and the Texans are playing to remain number 1 in the standings. Burton also sent out an email thanking students for their spirited attendance at the last 2 games and encourages students to pack the gym again for the 3rd game in a row tonight in support for the Texans and Texans Stars Senior Night. Also at tonight's game, one lucky person will have the chance to shoot a half-court shot and win $3,000 during the men's halftime. The half-court shot is sponsored by the law office of Brady Pendleton. The athletics department started the promotion in hopes of raising student attendance at the basketball games. In regional news, early voting is underway in Erath County for the March 4th Republican Party primary. The early voting is being held at the Erath County Courthouse, where polls are open from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. all week. Polls will open next week at the Dublin Annex, according to elections clerk Sarah Caudle. The Stephenville Empire-Tribune reports there's a 3-way race for Erath County Commissioner Precinct 4 that includes Scott Jackson, Shane Stiegel, and Billy Van Dyst. Others on the ballot include the race for Commissioner of Precinct 2 between Herbert Brown and challenger Albert Ray. Jade Sheffield and Danny Peloton are the candidates for the state representative. But perhaps one of the most closely watched races is the one for the county court-at-law judge. Bart McDougall, who has held the position for 20 years, faces a strong challenge from local attorney Blake Thompson. In state news, the pastor of a church in the small town of Slidell discovered that most of the church's electronics had been stolen on Friday, along with the church van, which was later recovered. The thieves reportedly stole $40,000 worth of equipment. However, the church left an interesting message for the thieves. On Monday morning, the sign outside the church read, "To those who robbed us, we forgive you." And now on to national news. 39-year-old Julie Corey was convicted last week to life in prison after being accused in 2009 of killing her 8-month pregnant friend Darlene Haynes. Corey allegedly beat and strangled Haynes and then proceeded to cut open her abdomen and take the 28-year-old's unborn child and pass it off as her own. Corey and her boyfriend were found in Plymouth, New Hampshire at a homeless shelter 2 days later. The little girl that was taken from her mother survived and is now living with her biological father. Corey had reportedly had a miscarriage 3 months before killing Haynes. Haynes also has a 9-year-old daughter. In international news, the Associated Press reports government troops have regained full control of a village in central Syria after ousting rebels accused of killing dozens of people there, state media said Tuesday as activists reported an explosion in a southern town that killed at least 18 people. In southern Syria, a blast in the town of Muzarib in Daraa province killed at least 18 people, including 4 children, the Britain-based Syria Observatory for Human Rights Activist Group said. Now we go to the Associated Press for a video.
الله أكبر الله أكبر دارية قصف بالبراوين المتفجرة
الله أكبر الميك يقوم اللي غير عاملين يا برود 18
خمسة الغنطة تتعرض لقصف عنيف.
الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر حمص بلدة الغنطة تتعرض لقصف عنيف. الله أكبر بقذائف الهاون والدبابات. الله أكبر الله أكبر حمص الغنطة الريف الشمالي. الله أكبر الله أكبر.
Government troops backed by Lebanese Hezbollah fighters have been on a crushing offensive there since early December, trying to sever a main roadway for rebels from Lebanon. At UN headquarters in New York, Security Council ambassadors met behind closed doors into the early evening Tuesday to discuss how and whether rival resolutions on the worsening humanitarian crisis can be melded into a single text that could win approval by the Council, which has been deeply divided over Syria. Council diplomats, speaking on condition of anonymity because discussions have been private, said the issue of enforcing a resolution remains a major sticking point. In sports news, Northwestern University football players are attempting to make U.S. history by forming the first union for college athletes. Quarterback for Northwestern, Kane Coulter, was the first witness Tuesday at the National Labor Relations Board hearing. Coulter stated that being a football player is a job, and that football players usually have 40 to 50-hour weeks training before and during the football season, and that the scholarships they receive sometimes don't even cover the cost of living expenses for an entire year. If the players are able to form a union, they would be able to improve their safety while training and playing, and be able to lobby for financial security as the players are left out of the billions of dollars made in college football every year. Coulter is a senior, and although his college football career is over, he is the only Northwestern player to advocate for the cause publicly, although he says most of the team's 85 scholarship players support the idea of forming a union. The National Labor Relations Board's main concern is determining whether football players are considered employees. The Northwestern football players do not stand alone. They are supported by the United Steelworkers, College Athletes Players Association, and former UCLA linebacker Ramoji Huma. Coulter is a prospect for the NFL draft. According to Yahoo Weather, you can expect cloudy skies with a high of 79 and a low of 55 for today. Today's broadcast was produced by Cassidy Horn and Megan Bailey. Don't forget to tell your friends about us and become a fan of Texan TV News on Facebook. I'm Alyssa Urbanek. Tune in tomorrow for the latest news from the Tarleton State University campus in Stephenville, Texas.